think when we come to the revenue sources, we'll ask how far we have gone with Amboseli, we'll ask how far we have gone with Magadi, we'll ask whether you're optimizing your rates from property, from land, because those would be the sources of wealth for Kajiado. That Kajiado, Nairobi, and a few other counties, Mombasa, would not have to beg or kneel down to a national executive because you've got autonomy through locally generated revenues. So I think it's just a broad conversation, but I feel that governors in Kenya are becoming lazy because they know that year in, year out, parliament will debate and money will come. And so we are not doing enough to collect locally. But we shall see that when we come to the revenue statements.
I really pray that we don't lose that conversation on Amboseli and Magadi, because while some county functions are called county functions, sometimes the lack of commitment by the national government to enforce on rogue investors completely leave the counties, having their hands tied. Remember, our devolution was watered down when we took away, services like police service and prisons and all those enforcement out of counties so that counties have no such support mechanism. If I may just very quickly go to Magadi, the court ruled, the Senate ruled that Magadi pays the county of Kajiado 11 billion. Magadi found a way to hibernate with the national government saying it is arbitration or it is this court or this is happening. So we are not working in a coherent way as a country between counties and national government, and then rogue investors find an in-between route to find safety. And therefore, I agree with you. Some counties actually have sufficient revenue sources to run their counties. But that aspect is undermining it. I'm sure you have seen Amboseli in the headlines, but we'll get to that conversation when we come.
Okay. Senator Isifuna?
Chair, there's something you have said that is borderline upsetting to me. Whether indeed this system called devolution was not something that Kenyans gave unto themselves and whether it is not a constitutional imperative. Personally, and I'll get into a lot of problems, but we have to say what we have to say.
We all get a lot of problems for defending devolution.
Governor, your problems will be more than mine. I'm just saying.
Let me be the regulator on how much problem it will cost.
Chair, if something is a constitutional imperative, and you have a national executive there, and we've gone through this conversation. For instance, Governor, you raise a valid point. We are still using the audited accounts of 3-5 years ago. I did the math, it is about 500 billion behind, which is denying counties, if you applied just 15% on that, almost 60 billion Kenya shillings, and it will resolve some of these issues. Secondly, there's a question of disbursements in terms of the regularity and predictability of that, disbursement. We have argued in the Senate that that disbursement schedule that we pass is of no use because it's supposed to give governors and county executives some level of comfort that on the 15th of each month we will receive exchequer release. But when John Badi, for instance, comes to the Senate, he says that, oh, that thing is just there as a guide and that Treasury has to look at exchequer and so on and so forth. But we don't hear the same complaints when it comes to national government entities. Somehow their budgets never delay. I've never heard the State House Comptroller, your friend, crying that State House has not received. In fact, the reports we see is that they have actually expended their monies way in advance, 9 months into the financial year. So we have tried to push that argument, Governor, that somehow that national treasury thinks it's a national government treasury, that the priorities of national government institutions actually are higher placed than the county governments. Some of us believe that it doesn't matter which geniuses you have in the county governments. If the national government is out to frustrate devolution, they will do it. And you will find these people sometimes struggling. Just even here in Nairobi, Senator, if you don't know when you're going to be paid, how do you know when you will pay your rent, how your kids will go to school? It is very difficult to plan, which is why we believe, some of us, the solution to devolution, the biggest threat to devolution is at State House, and that's where we're going, so that we can be able to resolve that problem.
Yeah, I think now you're getting into problems. Let Chair regulate it.
Chair, in our standing orders, there is what we call relevance. I don't think this committee is a platform for campaigns, but let me leave it there. I know Sifuna has other better forums than using this committee to advance his own agenda, but we will listen to him and we'll answer him in other fora, not here. Chair, my only concern was this 340 million that was in this annex number 2. And Governor, when we'll come to receiver of revenue, I will also have something to say, especially on the issue of Magadi and Amboseli, but I hope when we are on receiver on revenue, Chair, you'll have. But my only concern, if you look at the pending balance as of 30th June 2025, the office of the county attorney was 0. Until some time, they got a pending balance of 340 million for 9,155. And we know the issue of contingent liabilities and legal pending bills. You remember Nairobi, one of our colleagues had a pending bill of 1.1, was it 1.1 billion legal fees? So I really want to understand, Governor, what is it? Because it's the highest pending balance as 30th June 2025 in the year under review. And then there is your office of the governor was nil until it appeared with 35,004,479. Give us the justification. And what we call County Public Service Board at 000 until it appeared with 30,382,667. That will be re-emphasizing what the justification of this growth. Secondly, I don't know whether I heard your CCM that on the settling of pending bills below 1 million, it should be given priority. In as much as they might be the aging analysis that has come from different year. Finally, I've heard your reason is on delay exchequer releases and shortfall in revenue. I don't know, it's hard to tie up since we have not gone to receiver of revenue. But I thought the budget is based on the planning and program based in the budgeting. So that if you are giving a project, you give with the resources that you have. And that is why there was this issue of EGP. And we were arguing that you cannot procure without having resources. So what do you have to say about that? On the issue, finally, Chair, while I agree counties are struggling with pending bills, I know that it's approaching 200 billion. The Constitution is very clear, Article 219. When money is passed, it should be released without undue delay. And you remember the former CS Ukuri Yatani, we had to censure him in the last session for delay, your former colleague Ukuri Yatani. So it's a constitutional issue. But on the issue of latest audited accounts, I think as a parliament we should blame ourselves because it is the National Assembly who does that job. It is not you as the governors or as the Senate. So we should blame ourselves, especially our colleagues in the law house, of the latest audited accounts. Because you have to appreciate one thing, by the way, let me add this. Us in the Senate chair, and you are aware, we were pushing for more than 450 billion. It is after the member of ODMSG Sifuna went and decided that the counties must be given 428 billion. And they were adding 1 billion each, 1 billion after every time. So I think we have a broader. Saying...
You are making a very good point, but I think you are losing it.
I'm saying as a
with
Senate,
that reference to ODM.
I'm saying the member of Sifuna because he's still the SG unless he resigned. So the point I'm trying to make is that... because I heard him saying former party when he was congratulating the MCS or former. So, Chair, what I'm trying to say, let us leave that one, ignore that, Chair, is as a Senate, we have really tried to ensure that there is enough resources for counties. But the question is, even if we allocate, is it viability of getting your own money in good time to ensure you expend before the end of financial year? I think that's the conversation you should advise your colleagues, especially when you are COG retreat, so that we can have a united force to make a better devolution. So we'll do my 3 questions.
I think you asked specific questions on growth in the county attorney, the governor's office, and the county public service board. I think let's just deal with that, Governor.
Thank you, Chair. Let me ask the county attorney who is here to speak into that. And sorry. How does he step out? Sorry, Chair. I will ask Parsita to take up the Governor's Office and County Public Service Board.
Yeah,
quickly.
please, because members, we are not doing very well in terms of time. Yeah, please just state your name again and your designation, then.
Thank you, Chairman. Richard Parsita, Director Internal Audit. The question was,
Do you need to be reminded of the question?
yes.
But why are you standing if you don't know the question?
I've had the issue of zero balances and then open and then again growing balances. Because I think when you are checking on the schedule.
Governor?
Chair, we are lost. I'll leave Parsita alone. Joshua and I will take the questions quickly. Yes.
Well, Chair, about the issue of penny bills that have been asked about the Governor's Office and the Public Service Board, I mean the Public Service Board, normally these are not development current bills. It is current bills occasioned by the operation and maintenance that the county runs. And for example, the Office of the Governor does some of the functions, and because of the shortfall in our revenues, and we're not able to pay up the operation and maintenance as has been procured, that occasioned the escalation of penny bills under the current expenditure. So whatever you see there in that schedule is as a result of the operation and maintenance expenditures that have been procured, and the county is not able to pay it in full, given the reasons of shortfall in revenues and exchequer releases coming late at the tail end of the financial year. So about the legal, let me give the county attorney to say.
Yeah, please, very precise, direct answers.
Thank you, Chair. My response is very clear. The fee or the amount that was pushed to my office does not belong to, is not a fee note or legal fees. That is a contingent liability that the county government inherited from the defunct local authority.
Those are contingent liabilities?
Yes.
So they should not be trade payables?
They are not, because someone was asking, I think the Honorable Senator for Nandi was asking whether that is a scenario that appeared in Nairobi. We have not had a budget of legal fees that exceed 100 million. So that is a contingent liability belonging to the famous Kilimanjaro case, the hotel that is in Amboseli that became a swamp. And the first county government did accept it as a liability. And that liability should not have borne by the county government. It should have been part of the liabilities that were...
County Attorney,
Yes.
County Attorney,
There is nil in contingent.
there is a schedule
Yeah, here.
that you have attached. And on that schedule,
Disclosed.
there is a long list of fee notes where it is not paginated, but members, if you go through the last schedule before you go to Annex 5, you'll see a long list of fee notes, provision of legal services. There is one legal services to Beacon Njoroge and Company Advocates, Kajiado High Court Petition number 2 of 2019. It's clearly indicated as a fee note of 207 million. So you can't have this listed as a fee note and then you deny it and say they are contingent liabilities. Are these actual liabilities that have matured, or these are still matters pending determination?
Chair, and in addition, so that he can answer, but looking at their financial statements, they have not disclosed the contingent liabilities.
Yeah, so let's agree
Yeah.
that what we are looking at are these contingent liabilities, or these are mature obligations? Because those two are different.
Thank you, Chair. I didn't have this column of the reporting, but what I can tell you is our legal fee budget for the year has never exceeded 100 million every year.
So
what we have here,
Attorney, I'm sorry, with a lot of respect.
Okay.
What we make of this schedule, because it has been submitted to us, tabled by the governor,
Okay.
I believe in good faith, to indicate the situation. And you've got one page, a full page of fee notes. If you add it all up, a quick summation will bring it to probably 300 million.
And I can also agree that fee note could come up to that amount.
Yeah.
But every time we pay a fee note, we don't exactly pay what they ask for. It has to be itemized, and there is a schedule I submitted to finance, so maybe this one will clarify the issue. I submitted pending obligations we have in terms of lawyers who have offered services to the county. I also submitted a list of taxed bills. By the time the lawyer taxes a bill, you have fallen out, the relationship, and the bill has been taxed. But there were, I think, around 60 million.
So what are the outstanding mature obligations from the legal, arising from legal fees?
They could be more than 400.
More than 400?
Yes.
And contingent liabilities? The matters that are still in court?
Contingent liabilities could go to maybe more than 500.
Of course, I think Senator Cherargei has indicated that that has not been disclosed in the financial statements. Did we make that disclosure in the financial statements on contingent liabilities?
Chair, looking at the financial statements, they have not disclosed even in page 50 of the original certificate.
Auditor General, was there a disclosure on contingent liabilities?
Chair, there's no disclosure.
Okay. Governor?
On the contingent liability, Chair and honorable members, we have one long outstanding dispute between the county government and a company.
No, sorry. Without going to the details, was that disclosure made in the financial statements?
I think it's not captured here.
It is a requirement. It is a requirement that contingent liabilities should be disclosed.
Okay.
The way I asked earlier, how would another governor know that these are the matters that are still pending in court? They can only know if it is disclosed in the financial statement. So that needs to be done. Now, coming back to the question on pending bills, I think the attorney, you confused us by saying that what we are seeing are contingent liabilities, and yet they're listed as fee notes that seem to be mature and that seem to be outstanding for payment. Could you just tell us in totality how much in your 4 billion pending bills relates to legal fees and awards, Governor?
I agree earlier on, Chair, that we normally make a provision for pending bill payments to every financial year for 100 million. And I also concur that what we are seeing there is a list of due payment for legal services provided for. Possibly, I'll not be able to say precisely or with precision the figure itself, but we have a number of unpaid legal services. You know, some are still disputed, some have been agreed upon, and some keep coming. As you know that in Kajiado, we have quite a bit of a tussle with regard to lands and many issues. So the list we are seeing are for legal services not honored. So the cure will be to allocate more money into that vote. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Cherargei, so that we move out of this matter.
Yes. Looking at the time, in conclusion, Chair, I think the governor can disclose how much, whether the contingent liability and legal awards. But this is a material non-disclosure in financial statements. Chair, and I've gone to see who signed off this financial statement, a gentleman called Sangaire Tima. I hope he's not related to our own Tima. He's a chief officer of finance and was signed off by, unfortunately, he doesn't have an ISPAC number. I don't know which profession he is, Tima. Your chief officer, is he still with you, Governor? Sangaire Tima?
He's with me. He's not here, but he's the chief officer for finance.
Is he a member of ISPAC?
No.
Okay. Which profession is he, if you don't mind?
He's not a CPA, but he's a finance person.
He's a finance person. Chair, it was also signed off by CPA Joshua Machakusi.
He's here.
Or the gentleman seated next to you, Director of Accounting Services, ISPAC number 12128. You are up, Chair, maybe so that I yield back the mic. Bwana CPA Joshua, you agree with me that this was material non-disclosure by not disclosing the contingent liabilities through the chair?
Yes, but
No, don't use but.
I'm saying but because you can only disclose contingent liabilities if you have provided details of the disclosure.
Chair,
So from the accounting...
For efficiency of time,
yes.
We are, they say numbers don't lie. Let's just what is there.
Yes.
You agree with me, this entity has contingent liabilities?
It has.
Review.
It has.
You didn't disclose?
We didn't disclose, but we were not...
Not but, I'm using what is there, the evidence.
Okay, it was not disclosed, but we can be able to disclose this financial year.
Chair, no. What I'm asking, Chair, if you allow me, you didn't disclose, which is, you have agreed. So you agree as a profession you failed in your duty?
No, I didn't fail my duty. You can only provide disclosure in the financial statement to the extent of the information given by the relevant department, like the county attorney. If I've not been given that there's a county liability that is due or that is going to be placed.
Order. We will not take that direction. Even here in Parliament, there's something we say, we take judicial notice of events. You cannot give that argument. Note 42 in the financial statement, in the template provided by the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board, Note 42 has even given you the table there for you to disclose contingent assets and contingent liabilities. And there's a table for contingent assets, and below that, contingent liabilities. You went through it and put it at 0. So I think sometimes it's important to own up when you have messed up as a professional. You don't need to defend the indefensible. And just make sure that in the audit that we are going into, those contingent liabilities that have been cited by the county attorney are disclosed. Governor, I hope we are on the same page.
I agree with you, Chair, and we have actually every time had it in our accounts. We have discussed not once the issue of the contingent liability with that Kilimanjaro law thing in Amboseli. So I am also taken aback about it, and we will make it good by reporting it.
Fine. Members, we need to get out of this matter.
Chair,
and
because
if you don't manage time, we still have two other meetings.
Chair, I think maybe you woke up very well today on the right side of the bed, because naturally, when a profession commits a professional offense or professional error, the consequences follow. So maybe the CEO should be warned that this material non-disclosure normally attracts some punitive measures from the committee, and I think they should be aware, any profession that accompanies a governor, so that they don't allow the governor to be like Jesus Christ, of carrying all the burdens of people who are not.
On this, there was earlier indicated non-disclosure of staff payables, which we have agreed that you must provide clarity on the exact amounts owed to staff. That was a material non-disclosure. And the issue of contingent liabilities is also another material non-disclosure. Members, I think we must take a resolution to the House that no county should carry debt older than 2 years. Because under what circumstance would a county owe someone for more than 2 years when every year religiously we pass the division of revenue and every year we pass CARA? Why should counties sit with debt?